In this quick hack series, we're going to be dealing with elbow tendinitis. It's important before we get started with any of these quick hacks that you realize that this is not the solution to your problems necessarily. And it's essential that you consult your primary care provider, your doctor, prior to doing any exercise. Just make sure it's okay, because I'm not a doctor, a physical therapist, or anything like that. I'm a movement specialist, but I have found that by moving the body, things have a way of happening where pain suddenly disappears. And hopefully that's what's going to occur in this case. And we're going to talk about elbow tendinitis, but it's probably important that we talk about maybe potential underlying causes of such things. Tendinitis, the name itself breaks down to tendinitis. Itis is inflammation, so essentially we're just talking about an area that's inflamed, and it happens to be in the tendons that connect muscle to bone. So then we've got to scratch our head and ask ourselves, well, why is that getting inflamed? Could it be that it's working too hard and getting irritated? Well, if that's the case, then what area of your body isn't working hard enough? And through repetitive actions of that elbow and the muscles and tendons surrounding it doing more than its fair share over time, I could imagine that repetitive movement is going to create even more inflammation. But it's not necessarily the action of repeating over and over the same movement, it's how your body is actually doing it. So, we're going to look not at the elbow, but we're going to take our attention up to the shoulder, because it is the neighboring joint to the elbow, and this shoulder is meant to be a ball and socket. It's meant to move away and toward the body, and it's also meant to act like a hinge joint. The trouble, more often than not, is our arms are in front of our body, whether it's the steering wheel, the keyboard, or the dinner table. It's always in front. So those muscles around the shoulders may become imbalanced, some pulling more direction than the other. And then that's going to restrict the ability of the shoulder to properly move. And with that limitation, it may very well encourage the elbow to do more work. So, go ahead and check out how your elbow feels before doing these movements, and then reassess how it feels afterwards. If it starts to feel better, well, there you go. We've got some nice hacks. I'm putting myself in a kneeling position because I want to take away most of my lower body from obtaining some of the exercise. I don't want compensation to occur. I really want to focus on the shoulders. We're going to do 3 movements. The first one is just bringing the arms up to shoulder height. Rotate the palms overhead. Keep the elbows straight as you bring the arms overhead so the fingers touch. Come back to shoulder height and rotate down. What I'd like you to do is about maybe 5 to 15 repetitions. You're not going to try and go to ultimate fatigue, but you definitely want to make sure that you do it with proper form, no matter how many repetitions you choose. So watch out that you don't see the elbows bending, because that tells me my shoulder is not moving where it should, that the elbow is doing the work. That might be a true giveaway right there. Keeping the arms straight is essential to keep the elbow out of the action. So next, I'm going to keep my arms at shoulder height, and I'm going to have my thumbs pointing forward. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to curl my fingers in, because you know how potentially much the fingers are going to compensate. So keeping those hands like so, I'm going to make small circles, maybe 6 inches in diameter. And those arms are going to be out away from my body, right by my side, so I don't want to have them come forward. In fact, I might just encourage my shoulder blades to feel what it's like to pinch together every time the arms come back. So you should feel some movement or some muscle action across the back of the shoulders. After several circles there, I'm going to rotate my arms in the opposite direction so the palms are faced up, elbows straight, and I want to make sure that I get movement through the shoulder again. Watch out that it's not your elbows. Keep those arms rigid and rotate back. And finally, after several of those, I'm going to bend at my elbows, but I'm not going to bend and straighten. They're just going to stay locked, so to speak, in that bent position. Placing my knuckles against my temples, I'm just going to swing my elbows forward until they touch. And then I'm going to bring them back just as far as I can without any pain. So what I'm doing here with these 3 movements is reestablishing or re-educating how my joint at the shoulder should function. Adducting toward the body, abducting away. Ball and socket, circular motion, followed by the hinge function too. If we establish better movement through the shoulder, then see how the elbow feels. Let me know how it goes. Before you go, our new book, Return to Center, breaks down everything we did today and a whole lot more. So check it out at rockysnyder.com. Our link is on our page too. If you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. Thanks for watching.